Cross them off and bring me their fingers. Just one per marauder, please. I'll dust off the old fingerprint roller.
I'll do that. Is it just me or is she kinda cute? In a I'll murder your family and fill out the proper paperwork kind of way.
Hello? Are you still there?
How are they still
Power's
alive?
out in the whole town. Pipe down.
It's been weeks. Do they have food and water in there? Rebecca and Anders were hired to clear an infestation out of an expansion site for Edgewater that Space's Choice abandoned in Emerald Vale. Head there with Nyoka and see if they're still alive. Okay, it's behind the power plant. I never did check that place out. First though, let's get that mechanical behind here. I assume this is the one he was talking about.
Solid kill!
I very much doubt it was a scout, but whatever. Have I been in here? Yeah, I have. So where were these bounties I need to get? Okay, they're pretty spread out. I'll go around anti-clockwise.
Everyone all right?
I'm quickly running out of ammo for this rifle. I'm gonna have to start thinking about buying ammo. What's that thing? Guillaume, I'll be taking that finger, thank you very much. Don't really need to see the deserters. I'm sure they're fine. Why are all these marauders dead? Oh no. Oh, it's the deserter place. Heck. May as well say hi since we're here. Thomas doesn't want to talk to me. Not my fault you missed your chance with Parvati. You too? Am I still too shell-shocked?
You are welcome here.
Yeah, whatever.
That Harlow reminds me of my old dentist, and not in a good way.
Okay. You said that already. And you didn't even meet him. Not sure where this bounty guy is. Up there.
I'd wager this.
Didn't even get our hands dirty.
Sorry, Nyoka, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Here we go.
Fast and easy. Quick.
Hey, take a gander. The door's busted. Rebecca? Anders? You in there?
Huh. Rebecca taught me this once. You can jerry-rig these old locks so as they don't open anymore. But we've only ever done that if we're in a real bind. Here, I'll fix it.
Oh no. Oh no. What did you do?
Uh-oh. This looks bad.
This is the medallion you retrieved from Anderson's remains. It is inscribed with the letters Charon. Its display is faded and the buttons are almost entirely rusted through, but you can still make out bits and pieces of what look like Rebecca's final entries. Lord help me, but Anderson was right. We never should have taken this contract. I thought Monarch was bad, but this is unbearable. Everyone here is blind or addled or I don't know what. The towns won't let us walk in without an employment contract. I can't even find someone to let me send a message. For all the capable folk here, we're stuck. Back home, we had to fight for every meal because there were no meals that you didn't make yourself. Here there's plenty, but nobody's allowed to give you one. We've been stealing bits and pieces of life from wherever we can. Anderson is about ready to sign up. Offer his life in service to Space's Choice just so he can take a shower. Clara, I hope to the architect this never reaches you, but on the off chance it does, I want to say I'm sorry. Anderson and I forked up. We didn't take the contract for the bits. We didn't take it because primals sounded cool. We took it because we wanted out. Monarch's a living hell. We were sick of getting sick. Of boiled raptidon and stinking like sulfur no matter how hard you scrub. Of fighting, day in and day out. We're exhausted. We thought we could use the contract money to find a place here. Settle down. But this place ain't any better. It's just different. We're starving all the same. We never should have left. I just thought maybe we could do better. I miss you, kid. Marauders at the door. Anderson's bled out. I'm on my way. I won't let them get me. Not alive, anyway. I've seen what those monsters do.
They were... That bitch! They were all set to abandon us! What would Clara say, huh? Every day she'd ask if we heard from you. And she'd have forgiven you. The kid had a soul that made the sulfur smell like roses. Or to leave your medallions to rot with you, but Clara would want to be buried with her sister.
Are you okay?
At least I know. Ought to have learned by now that getting one's hopes up tends to open them to being dashed across the stars. I hate to say this, but Clara died thinking her sister was still fighting to get back home. I'm glad. If she were still alive now, it'd break her to know the truth.
She'd still want to know the truth, just the same as you did.
Yeah, maybe. I'm used to disappointment. She was still so naive as to let it hurt her every time it happened. Only thing left is to take these medallions home, which means figuring out how to bait the Mana Queen out of our old base. The most pissed off I've ever seen a queen was when a foreign species was on her soil. I'd wager the stench of a primal might do the trick.
Might do it. I didn't think there was anything about the wilderness you don't know.
That'd be boring. Half the fun in exploring is the fact that you're on an unknown trail. Never had the pleasure of hunting primals, but I hear they're all over Scylla. Let's tear a few apart, shall we? I'm sure they've got pheromones. Everything does.
There's a few here as well, actually. So how do I get to this marauder I need to kill? It's like they're on top of that mountain. Or maybe in a cave. Aha, hello there.
I got another fighting me.
Two down, one to go. Near where I found the ship. And there are a few primals on the way. Just over here, I think.
Don't mess with us.
That was easier than I expected. They don't seem to have what we need.
That's the last of them.
I hear another canid, I think.
They're in my sight.
Damn, but we're good.
Real slick. That Harlow reminds me of my old dentist, and not in a good way.
Ellie, what is up with you? Oh, we went past them? Bertie Cotton, I'll be taking that. Does it need to be the ones on Scylla? Elmer Thompson, lifetime net value 8,112 bits. Really?
Okay.
Reed's wife, maybe?
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from? Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's marauder territory, friend.
How do you know I'm not a marauder?
You talk too pretty for a marauder. Most of them just grunt and yell. Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls. And low prices.
You said that before I'd said a word to you. I never got your name, I'm Taylor.
Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family.
This place looks like it's falling to pieces.
Heard a lot of new workers say that. First time they set eyes on Edgewater, they'll say, well, I can't work here. I don't belong here. Well, we do belong here. The Spacer's Choice family takes care of us from the cradle to the grave. As long as we provide our own cradles.
Need any jobs doing? I could use the money.
Got a knack for being discreet-like? There's money to be made, long as you keep your nose clean. Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites, we rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see?
You're making people pay for their own graves?
Company policy. If it was up to me, I'd put the whole town 10 feet under, free of charge.
Why can't you collect these fees yourself?
Quotas, mostly. Got a backlog of graves to fill. Bodies won't bury themselves, you know?
All right, I'll collect your fees for you.
4 workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little.
Why is Abernathy a special case?
He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up.
Okay, I'll be back. I remember Abernathy was that guy I gave the medicine to. Now where was his house? This one?
Just as I was on the mend, the cannery had to go and shut down.
I'm here to collect your gravesite fees.
Silas knows, doesn't he? That's why he sent you. That's why he wants me to pay up. He knows. I put a few bits aside for my grave. Not that I'll be seeing the inside of it anytime soon. What with being on the mend.
I'll leave you be.
Edgewater's experiencing what we in the profession like to call a quandary.
Got my hands full at the moment. Make it quick, please.
I'm here to turn in the bounties.
We pay by the finger. What do you have for me?
Here's Guillaume Antrim's finger.
Gil Antrim. Real name, Guillaume. Duly processed by a freelancer on behalf of Spacer's Choice. I remember him. I was just a kid last I saw him. Shame. I'll just need your signature here, 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 and here. Got any more fingers for me?
Doc Maybell.
Mabel Burgess. Age 37? Right or left-handed? Let's just say no longer applicable. I remember Doc Burgess. Conducted my physical every fiscal quarter. Guess she couldn't keep her hands off her patient's medicine. Still one outstanding bounty. If you've got a finger, I've got the paperwork.
And Bertie Cotton.
Here we are. Bertie Cotton. Cause of death. Let's just say overwhelming physical trauma. Bert was the local preacher before Max took over. Always was quick to remind us that we all get what we deserve in the end. Well, that's all three. I must remember to requisition some more fingerprint ink. Here's all the compensation you've earned, plus a bonus.
What's this? Junior Deputy Constable?
You've done such a bang-up job hunting down our former workers that I thought it only proper to deputize you. Congratulations.
Thanks. How did so many of your people end up marauders?
Let me stop you there. It is official Spacer's Choice policy that all marauders, regardless of prior affiliation to the Spacer's Choice brand, no longer qualify as our people.
Okay, so how did so many people who are no longer your people end up marauders?
Marauders are folk who lost the will to keep working, wandered out into the wilds and gave into their baser instincts. Not everyone's cut out to work in Edgewater. Some turn deserter, some turn marauder. None of them get my sympathy.
Marauders seem to like adrenatime.
Everybody likes adrenatime. It is the finest medical drug ever developed by Spacer's Choice. Much better than that crap anti-Cleo pedals. Sure, a little too much adrenatime can bring out the violent animal in you, but if overdosing on adrenatime turns you into a lunatic, you have only yourself to blame. Says so right on the warning label. Violent psychosis is a well-documented and legally accounted for side effect of adrenatime.
Well then, see you later, cutie. I do have a bit of a crush on her, don't tell her though.
Can we talk?
Yes.
Things on Monarch have really cooled off. I didn't think MSI and the Iconoclast would ever talk. Outside of shouting four-letter words, I mean.
Just goes to show you there's always a peaceful option, not counting Graham's death.
Sure. And fish sticks are really made from Saltuna. Look, I won't knock the work you did. I'm sure they'll have a good cry, look through old photographs, share a pint of premium double chocolate cacao gelato. But sooner or later, things will go back to the way they were. People don't change. Not really.
It almost sounds like you're rooting against them.
Just being realistic. As long as they keep their business on Monarch, their situation's got nothing to do with me. Anyway, I'd hate to see you get broken up if this thing between them doesn't last.
Nice to know you care.
Hey, let's not make this out to be more than it is. Anything else?
Any thoughts on Felix's friend? I mean, other than him reminding you of your dentist?
Something about this Harlow guy isn't on the up and up.
You say that about everyone.
Yeah, but I usually mean it as a compliment. The way Harlow is leaning on his revolutionary bona fides, not to mention his knowing Felix back in the day, something about it feels off.
Don't worry, Ellie. I plan on keeping my eyes open.
Good. That makes two of us.
Well, I, singular in your case. Phyllis, she works as a supervisor in the Edgewater cannery. None of them are Phyllis.
You picked a fine time to visit, stranger.
Gravesite fees. I'm here to collect.
Shit. Silas still on about that? Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment.
Reed's in prison. These papers aren't signed in your name.
Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill.
That's kind of you, I guess.
I could do without the sarcasm. Wasn't acting out of the goodness of my heart. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker.
You said this guy shot himself?
Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable.
Must be tough losing family.
Eugene wasn't family.
I thought you said you were his closest living relative.
Yeah, I was the closest living person relative to his body at time of death. I'm the one who found him, you see, so I pay the fines. Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism.
What are they gonna do? Arrest his corpse?
When one of your workers commits a crime, the entire town pays for it. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice.
He was a person, not an asset.
Well, excuse you. I'll have you know, Eugene was an asset to us all. May his atoms be commended to the law. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives.
I'll let you get back to not working. What a messed up system. I also need to collect from the barber. Now where was he? I hope he didn't get locked into his shop when the power went out.
I've got some time.
Power's out, but I can't just leave my goods unattended. Don't suppose you'd care to do business?
How? Aren't they all in there?
Go right ahead.
What's your take on this place?
What, you mean Edgewater? That's a peculiar question. This a test? Am I being tested right now? It's, fine and dandy. Couldn't be happier. Wouldn't want to spend my life working anywhere else. Prettiest little town on Terra 2.
Telling yourself that won't make it true.
You are condescending to me, and I do not care for it. I am lucky to have my work, lucky to be alive. I don't get paid for banter. Was there something you needed?
Actually, there was.
Go right ahead.
So about this plague that's supposed to be going around.
Plague? I don't know anything about a plague. We are the very picture of hot-blooded physical vigor.
Are you done being delusional, or should I wait?
I take umbrage with your choice of phrase. We ain't sick, we're rugged. Some of us who get sick are liable to exaggerate the conditions of that sickness, but the fact is, if you work hard, you have got no cause to worry.
That doesn't make any sense.
Spend enough time in the Spacer's Choice family, and you will come to understand. Medical treatment is commensurate with our value to society. Spacer's Choice will dispense medicine for the indispensable worker. Natural selection at work.
And if you don't work hard enough?
Then the hand of medical science will not grace you with its touch, and you must recover on the virtue of your own grit. Listen, you mind if we talk about something else? Rambling about company policy gets me feeling all lightheaded.
You and me both. If I were a barber, where would I be? There you are.
I can't possibly cut anyone's hair in the dark.
You sound like you've had some training. I know a thing or two about medicine.
Oh? Am I in the company of a fellow doctor?
I'm guessing you were trained at a medical school?
Experience was my teacher. Experience and... So, you want to be an embalmer, brochures 1 through 5, courtesy of the Spacer's Choice Department of Career Development.
Silas sent me to collect your dues.
Ah, gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions.
I don't understand a word you said.
I mean that I can't possibly pay my gravesite fees. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch.
That's some quality drama, Conrad. You should audition.
Thank you, no. I despise the serials. Tell Silas I can't afford to pay, and that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies.
Hang on, medical rights?
Some time ago, I fell ill with the plague. By the grace of the law, and through my own hard work, I'd proven worthy of treatment. Frankly, I don't imagine I'll earn that right a second time. The barber work hasn't been profitable, you see. I've had to keep this old place running with my own savings.
Just give Silas an IOU.
Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers. No, that won't do. Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions.
I'll let you know if I think of anything.
Much obliged.
There must be something you can use. Conrad, receptionist, shot himself. This is bad. Company's going to have to call it for what it is, destruction of Spacer's Choice property. Eugene was an asset and somebody has to pay his body price. This is gonna ruin us. So I was thinking that we pawn off his teeth. Eugene had a full set of gold teeth. Heirlooms passed down his family or something. You're processing his body, right? Just dig around and pry them out. We sell the teeth somewhere nice and quiet, use the bits to pay his body price, and nobody's the wiser. What do you think? Don't write back. In fact, don't talk to me at all. Just give me a special signal next time you see me. Waggle your eyebrows. Phyllis G.
What can I do for you?
I know about Eugene. Why not use his teeth as collateral for your gravesite fees?
You know about Eugene? How?
I found a note from Phyllis.
Then, you know Phyllis suggested selling off Eugene's gold teeth. I didn't approve of the idea then, and I don't approve of it now. Eugene's golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave.
3 generations wore the same teeth. Gross. I'm sure he won't miss them.
That's unthinkable. Eugene's body and all rare earth minerals contained therein are solely the property of Spacer's Choice. I can't ask Silas to dig up a man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I?
I don't really care. I'm just here to collect your dues.
Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature and an IOU.
I'm told Eugene killed himself. What happened?
Eugene was not a suicide. He put a bullet in his brain, yes, but that's largely a technicality. I was the one who prepared Eugene's body for interment. I discovered symptoms of the plague on his corpse, and I discovered medicine in his pocket. Lots of medicine. Eugene overdosed on adrenatime, which is known to cause psychosis and paranoia as possible side effects. The paranoia drove him to take his own life.
That's horrible.
It's a miracle of bureaucracy. If Eugene's death were filed as a suicide, we'd all pay the price for his crime. We can all thank our lucky stars that young Eugene was hopped up on medication and suffered its predictable side effect. I included it all in my official report. I'd like to think I saved Edgewater a great deal of money. We never could have paid the fines associated with a suicide.
Okay, but Phyllis seems to be under the impression that he is on file as killing himself. And isn't she paying more because of that?
What's on your mind?
I'd like to talk to you about Eugene.
I paid his burial fees, didn't I? Let the dead sleep.
Conrad tells me Eugene wasn't a suicide.
I don't understand. I found Eugene's body. I know the guy shot himself. Wait, are you telling me he was murdered?
Eugene overdosed on medication. The medication drove him paranoid.
He was plagued? Oh, Law, that's awful. I helped carry his body out. I could have been infected. This is all a little too much for me to take in. But I guess if Eugene wasn't a suicide, our town won't have to pay a penalty.
Yeah, take care. Sorry, that was an accident. I wasn't jumping for joy or anything. Really, it's all very sad. Okay, just need to get money from Ludwig now. Which is not this way.
Town's been dark a while now. Could be a mechanical trying to sabotage us.
You won't have to worry about that scout anymore.
You beat that scout to scrap with its own legs? Pulled its optic cables out its head case? Actually, don't tell me. Rather use my imagination. You're a passing fair soldier, I will confess. But you are one, and the enemy is legion. What you need is an equalizer. A weapon to strike fear in their cold, mechanical hearts. Cantina, lavatory, behind one of the toilets. That's where I've kept it hidden all these years.
You hid your weapon in a lavatory?
Sharp, ain't it? The lavatory is the very last place a mechanical has need to enter.
I'll let you know if I find it.
On the double, soldier. Don't want the bartender poking around in there with a mop.
Silas sent me. You owe him your gravesite fees.
I told Silas I'd pay my dues if he agreed to join the resistance. Guess this means he's finally heard the calling.
Yeah. See you later, Ludwig.
Nice work.
This is the cantina, right? Behind the toilet. Ah. There's nothing here. Was that other room a toilet as well?
Power's gone. Law knows how long. Looking to get drunk? Oh, I almost forgot. I'm contractually obligated to recite company slogans to any visitors. You tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's choice.
Oh dear, looks like I can't get it.
Don't see the sense in all this fussing over the power. Cannery shutting down just means I'll have more bodies to bury.
We need to talk about Eugene.
Yeah? What about him?
You first. I know you buried him.
Well, yeah. It's what I'm contractually obligated to do. What's this about?
His solid gold teeth could be worth something if you pulled them out.
Yeah. Funny thing, Eugene's body ain't where it's supposed to be. The night we was supposed to commend his body to the earth, I had his grave all dug up and ready, right? And so I thought, I'll just rest my eyes a bit. When I woke up, his body was gone. Spirited away. Vanished. The footprints nearby suggested that Eugene was stolen by marauders. Or he rose from the dead.
Aha, or you took the teeth for yourself and got rid of the body to cover it up. This is getting a little too absurd for me. Let's just change the subject.
Suit yourself. What's on your mind?
About those fees you wanted.
You run into any trouble?
It's all done, paperwork, fees, and signatures.
Reliable work from a freelancer. That's gonna take some getting used to.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah?
This town must be in pretty bad shape if it's keeping you employed.
You could look at it that way, I suppose. You could look at us and say, those Edgewater saps lost near every soul to plague. But you'd be wrong. We're survivors. Loyal company folk, brave in the wilds.
How long have you been a junior inhumer, gravedigger, whatever?
Hang on, I'm doing some math in my head. 20, 30, carry the one... all my life? Work's been real good to me. Fresh air, exercise. Only problem's the paperwork. Can't get anybody to pay their gravesite fees.
You lose a lot of people to marauders?
Former people, yeah. Marauders been raiding my graves, you see. Hence the armed guards.
What are they after? Loot?
Oh no. They are after the most precious loot of all. Spacer's Choice Company property. If those marauders swipe any more bodies out of my cemetery, company's gonna duck my pay.
Thanks for your time. I guess these wooden ones are for the poor unimportant people. Stone ones the middle class. And the higher-ups get the fancy RGB. You can sell some colorful lights on anything these days.